Hey friends, welcome back to the Efficient Advisor. This one's going to be short, but super tactical because I want to show you a way of doing simple daily planning that helps me stay focused, present, and actually get the right things done. In my one-on-one coaching sessions this week, we do a lot of one-on-ones for people inside of our group coaching program. I was asked twice in one day about how to actually implement a time block effectively. We just wrapped up talking about model weeks and time management stuff in the program, and I thought this might be helpful for you to see how I actually do it. So when I showed it to these two gentlemen, they went, aha, that makes so much sense. So let's talk about how I use my planner, how I map out each day the night before, and a few time management shifts that I made that make a huge difference in how I show up as a business owner, as a mom, and as a human. Here is how I get all of it done. So let me show you my planner, and I'm actually going to walk you through how I plan a day. For those of you watching on YouTube, this will make a lot more sense, but I'm going to do my absolute best to describe what I'm doing and showing on the YouTube channel. I'm going to describe it to you who are listening to this as a podcast. So I do most of this work the day before. So today is Tuesday, April 1st. I started this process at the end of the day. So last night at the end of my workday, I do a shutdown ritual where for the following day, I do a couple of things. Number one, I write in all of my anchors in the day. So for me, that's these, and I color code everything because I'm a nerd. But for me, this is a business development day. So if you've followed me before, you know that I theme my days. So this was a business development day. So the vast majority of projects today were going to be business development related. So I had a couple appointments. I had a couple speaking calls related to some upcoming events. I had a coffee with Michael Kitsis for an event that I'm doing for him. And by the way, just kind of cool side note, he sends for this event, all of the speakers for the upcoming summit were just getting together to have coffee. And I thought this was such a great little client experience touch. They sent fun coffees. We got to pick out a coffee from our favorite coffee place, and they sent fun coffees delivered to our house to enjoy while we were all on this call together. And then I have a meeting with Paul, who is my publisher who's helping me with the book. So I write down my dropping off the kids. I have to pick kids up, things that we have going on. All of the anchors go on the calendar first. The next thing that I do is I pick my big three. So what are the three most important things that I need to accomplish in order to move major projects forward, or just those things that absolutely need to get done? And kind of what I do that's really helpful for me is I add in about how much time I think it's going to take for me to accomplish those tasks. So I do this the night before. I block in my meetings and fixed commitments. I do that for the whole week. And then I go in with my big three and I figure out what are the most important things I need to accomplish tomorrow. So they might be strategic, like mapping out a new process, or they might even be personal, like scheduling a dentist appointment that I needed to get done. But they go here at the top of the page to keep me focused. Then, before the day even gets going, I jot down three things that I am grateful for. They can be big things like a healthy family, or small things like the fact that I get a fun coffee coming and I get to drink it while it's still actually hot. So this anchors me in something. It's just something that I do. You can see I write it in here. It's something that I do for me just to get me grounded before the day starts and something positive, especially on those wild days. So once I got my meetings, my big three, and my gratitude down, I go back and I fill in, and this is what I was showing the guys during our individual coaching calls, is I go into these time blocks. So on my model week, they look like a time block. So I have a block for meetings. This one didn't get fully filled. And I'll go in and actually write in the tasks. So I had already started to do this when I was like, oh, I should just record this. But I've got a few of my to-do items for the day that I listed. Like these are things that would be really, really nice to get done. And I try not to write down too much because I don't want to get in a place where then I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm such a loser. I didn't get all this stuff done that I said I was going to get done. So I try to avoid putting too many things on here. I try to realistically go in and write some of the big things in and then get them on the calendar. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my big three and I'm going to say, okay, where am I going to work on these? So I know that I need an hour to edit chapter 3 of my book. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that in right here. Oops, chapter 3, edit. And I know that I need 30 minutes to finish up tax stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in right here. And I know that I need 15 minutes at some point to green light a couple podcast episodes, meaning my team has done the show notes and the email for it and the graphics. So I just need to go in, make sure they're exactly right. And that'll take me about 15 minutes. And I'm going to do that here. So now, as soon as and then I've got my inbox. So I'm going to check my inbox in the morning, and I'll do that again at the end of the day. So I'll check my email. I'll get on my call with Prudential, my call with Tiffany. Then I know as soon as I get off that call that I'm going right into editing. Then I know as soon as I'm done with editing, and I'm going to set a timer, and as soon as I'm done editing that chapter, I'm going to start on my tax stuff. Then I'm going to take my break for lunch and wait for my glorious coffee to be delivered, and then chat with Michael for a bit. And I have a whole bunch of things I want to ask this group about the book and the content, so I'm really excited about that. Then I'm going to hop on the call with Paul, and as soon as I hop off with Paul, I'm going to go green light those episodes and make sure everything looks the way that I want it to look. Now, because it's a pretty full day, and I imagine your days look a lot like this with client appointments or team meetings or trainings and webinars, things you're going to have to do, maybe listening to the Efficient Advisor podcast is on there. Then I'm going to go over here and say, okay, what is this stuff? So I know after I pick up my son from school, my brain will be turned off. So this is where I can do some banking, and I can call back the blinds guy before. So I'm going to call Phil, the blinds guy, and I'm going to do my money between pickup and end of business. Then I've got this block of time. After my son comes home, I usually make him a snack. I know he's 16 and I still like to cut up some fruit. If I let him do it, he's just going to eat pizza rolls and nuggets, okay? So I like to cut up a little fruit, say hi to him, chat with him for a few minutes. And then I know I can do this, my grocery list. I can do that anytime. I can do that a little bit later in the day. I need to get on school and check in on all of my group coaching peeps. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in here. And I think that's going to take me about, let's say 20 to 30 minutes. I read all the comments. I look at examples or as we go through the coaching program, people upload copies of their work and I go through and take a look at it. So I'm going to say that's going to take me about 20 to 30 minutes to do school. And then I'm going to work on the XYPN blog for the next month. And then here I'm going to review my contract. So that'll check off this one, this one, this one. And you know what? If there's extra time, I can get to these. But this is why I don't overdo the list. I try to leave just a few items over here that if I get done faster, let's say it only takes me a half hour to edit the chapter, I know exactly the other stuff that I can fill in. But I know this looks a little messy. It's hard to write and shoot this all at the same time. But you can see I know exactly what I'm doing. So when I lay this out before the day starts, there is no question where after this meeting finishes up that I'm like, oh, what should I be doing now? Should I be working on this? Or what do I feel like doing? So I take the feeling out of it and just focus on the tasks at hand. So this simple routine has changed how I show up. Less thinking in the morning, more doing. Because the truth is, structure creates freedom. When you're clear about what you're doing and when, you don't waste time spinning your wheels. You don't carry the guilt of a never-ending mental to-do list, and bonus, you actually start finishing things. That's a big deal for me. So here's your mini challenge. Tonight, take just a few minutes to plan your tomorrow. Block your meetings. Name out your big 3. Write down 1 or 2 things that you're grateful for. Assign real tasks to your time blocks. You'll wake up feeling 10 steps ahead, and that's kind of the momentum we love around here. So until next time, keep it simple, keep it easy, keep it doable, keep it realistic, and be super intentional. Go build a business and a life that you love. I will link the planner that I use, the Full Focus Planner, in the show notes for you. I love, love, love this planner. I was forever a best self journal girly, but they changed the layout and I found that this is closest to what the best self journal used to look like. I love it because, and I'll show you here quickly, I love it because in the beginning, it's got this goal setting like for the quarter. So it's a 3-month long journal and you write in your own dates. So you can start it and stop it whenever the heck you feel like it. So it's 3 months long. So I set it up for my quarterly goals. On my quarterly CEO days, this is what I'm doing. I'm mapping out my goals. And then it's got calendars. It's got a spot in here for daily rituals for your model week. But I'll show you, let me find one here for you. At the beginning of every week, they've got a weekly kind of preview. Okay, so here's a blank one. So you can set up the list of 3 to 5 biggest wins from the week, which I love, kind of recapping big wins. How far did you get on your actual weekly big 3? So the 3 big projects that you're working on. We've talked about quarterly projects before and how you can only have 3 per quarter. How far did you get on what you set out to do for those projects? It talks about what worked, what didn't work, what will you change, what will you continue, kind of like the start, stop, continue exercise I've had you guys do. It's got habit tracking if you like that, if you're trying to increase your water intake or decrease distractions. It's got a section to identify 3 ways to do more self-care. So whether that's sleeping, eating, moving, connecting with others, relaxing, and then you list out, of course I love it, your weekly big 3. So these are the 3 big tasks that you're going to work on for the next week. And then you're going to come back at the end of the week and reassess. Even when I was doing the best self planner, I found that I never came back and did the weekly assessments. I was just so go, go, go. I never took the time to do them. For some reason, this one feels so much more doable and helpful for me. So I found that I've actually stuck to it. So I'll make sure to link this exact one in the show notes. Best Self is a great journal. Love it too. I'll link that for you as well. Full Focus has a lot of other really cool products that you can check out. So I'll make sure I've got that all for you guys in the show notes. I have been using it. I'm trying to see if you can see. I mean, I've got every quarter is a slightly different color. So you can see this right now. I'm in the midst of a khaki. I've had a cute little like salmon-y color, a yellow. So I kind of rotate between colors and then I save them all because I'm a weirdo. And I have tried probably 20 or 30 different planners over the years to find ones that I really love, but I save them all. I have kind of like a planner graveyard because at some point I feel like I just need to make my own to be exactly what I'm looking for. But so far, haven't really needed to because the Full Focus planner is doing the vast majority of what I need a daily planner to do. And I'll be honest, I don't want to draw. I don't want to doodle. I don't want to have to create every page like a bullet journal. This has been kind of the good combination for me that allows me, I'm a weirdo and I do, as you saw, I like color coding. So I have like business activities are one color, kids activities are another color, personal activities are a different color. So there's that kind of stuff that I like to include on there. But that's just a weird me thing. Don't feel obligated to color code. Anyways, I hope you guys found this helpful. Identifying your big 3, identifying how much time you're estimating or how much time you're going to give it, because the more time you give a task, the longer it usually takes. So if you give it an hour, it's going to take an hour. If you give it 30 minutes, it's usually going to take 30 minutes. So giving yourself that time limit and then blocking it into your calendar. And for me, I then set my phone timer and say, I've got 1 hour to work on my book. I'm going to get this chapter done by the end of this time. And 99.9% of the time I do because I have that hard deadline. All right. Anyways, I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you over in the Efficient Advisor community on Facebook or over on LinkedIn.